Oh, we are so back. Good news. I should hopefully have a new microphone coming in the next week or two. Listen, man, the iPhone headphone mic era is about to end, and I've loved this thing, but let me tell you, it's a little crazy to be holding up dirty ass earbuds while I'm trying to film, you know, like progress videos and information videos for people. But at any rate, progress is progress, and we're moving forward. I'm feeling really, really good about this. The content's just kind of been pumping out, man, and I'm just scheduling it. And this is the best I've felt about kind of my content creation journey as like a creative outlet in a really long time, which is honestly saying a lot because I really struggled with this stuff for probably like 8 years. The graveyard of privated videos that I started out with is vast. Oof, man, I've come a long way. But at any rate, we're here to kind of talk about some stuff that I have in my arsenal for my mental health and just honestly, like, keeping my shit tight. I have a pretty stressful job. I am a financial manager for a pretty large firm, and it's kind of getting close to the end of our fiscal year. So I got a lot of stuff going on. So I just kind of wanted to share some tactics that I learned both through therapy and through my own personal reading that really helped me kind of keep my sanity and keep my cool when I'm going through a lot. And also, it's just improved my attitude as a whole as a person and made me a much more pleasant person to be around. And I think that that's crucial as just a functioning adult these days. I think too many people are miserable. We just need to be better to each other. And I think in order to be better to each other, we need to be better to ourselves. There are basically three things that I'm going to focus on today that have helped with my mental health. The first one is meditation. The second one is positive affirmations. And the third one is breath work. And I'm just going to kind of break down each one and provide sort of a brief summary of how I go about doing them. If you want more information on how I do it, I can honestly do a deeper breakdown later on video. Just drop a comment below on what you want me to sort of break down further for you, and I'll put some content out. But let's dive into it. So the first thing that I'm really big on is meditation. It's entirely beneficial for me, and it's no secret why. It helps improve your emotional resilience, it lowers stress, and it provides almost like a peace of mind, a bit of a quiet for me. My Aura ring that I talk about all the time actually has it as like a tag because it actually will allow you to get like resilience time or restorative time, which is basically when your heart rate is low and your stress levels are relatively low. So, I mean, it's supported by science to be a really, really beneficial thing to include in your regimen. Quite honestly, it's just nice to set some time aside during your day to try and drown out all your thoughts and just kind of exist with the rhythm of the world that's around you. I typically will do it either in complete silence or I'll have a little bit of like yoga music playing in the background and I'll repeat a couple of mantras to myself, and it just gets you super focused on pretty much nothing, right? So I guess it's the opposite of getting focused. What I do is I find a quiet spot. Usually I do it either, I try not to do it in my bedroom, I'm going to be honest, but if I have nowhere else to go, I'll do it in my bedroom. There's a private corner at my gym where I'll go and I'll sit, or I'll sit in the sauna if it's early in the morning. I'll kind of sit crisscross applesauce. I'll open my arms up and I'll just kind of close my eyes and drown out my thoughts for about 10 or 15 minutes at a time. And I do try and pair it with kind of being conscious of my breath, because if you can kind of focus on these autonomic functions, right, in your body, I think that's what they're called, and become more mindful of it, it helps you basically remove any other potential thoughts that might be going on in your day. And it's just incredibly refreshing, man. It takes honestly about 2 weeks to really start noticing the benefits. I'm going to be real with you. But the longer you do it, with both frequency and duration, the faster you'll see the effects. So, I mean, the first time I really started doing it intensely was during COVID. I was doing 30 to 45-minute sessions. It was insane, like almost every day because I had nothing else to do. And I really started noticing that zen, that peace of mind within like a week or so. It was pretty impressive. And I'm really trying to kind of work to get myself back there now. The time of day that you use it, honestly, is up to you. I personally like doing it either first thing in the morning or a little later in the afternoon. I try not to do it right before bed because I feel like it kind of throws off my circadian rhythm a little bit. It's almost like your body is already like falling asleep, and then you kind of awake from the meditation. It's like you're waking up again, and it's always just kind of thrown off my sleep. It takes me like 3 or 4 extra hours to go to bed. Is crazy. So I would honestly say like first thing when you wake up in the morning, or about like 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon, maybe right when you get off work, midday, something like that. Incredibly beneficial for you. The other thing that I want to talk about, number two, is going to be breath work. Breath work almost goes in conjunction with meditation in that you're influencing your body's rhythm to kind of create favorable outcomes for yourself. Now, what I mean by that, by again, taking your body out of this sort of autonomic or like the autonomous sort of aspect of your nervous system and being intentional with your breath really starts to dial you into being in tune with the rest of your body, feeling yourself in your body, which I think is incredibly beneficial in grounding yourself in a specific moment, right? The other thing that I'll add here is people don't realize that we're unintentionally shallow breathers. And what I mean by that is our bodies have lungs that are capable of this insane lung capacity. And people tend to kind of just take these really rapid, shallow breaths, breathe through their mouth, and it almost triggers the fight or flight in our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, when you go to do breath work, typically you're going to try to alternate between using your nose and your mouth to breathe in and out. And you're going to be breathing in for seconds at a time, right? 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds, holding that breath and then letting that breath out. And what that does is it fully invigorates your body because you are actually filling up your lung cavities, right? You're filling your lungs up with oxygen, which you don't normally do. Now, doing breath work in certain patterns, one popular pattern is doing box breath work, which is breathing in for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 4 seconds, breathing out, holding for 4 seconds, repeat. But in doing that, you're almost getting a bit of a high off of it because your brain's getting that oxygen that it's been deprived of for like so long, right? Now, I'm not saying that if you're not doing breath work, you're killing your brain or anything crazy like that, but it's incredibly beneficial to you to kind of invigorate your brain with that kind of oxygen. And again, kind of like with meditation, I'd really encourage you to do this when you wake up in the morning because it kind of gets your brain sort of hyper aware of the moment and invigorated for the day. And then on top of that, like in the afternoon, if you have like a lunch break or something at 2 or 3 in the afternoon and you're kind of hitting that crash in the middle of the day, go out your car in the parking lot, or if you have a park near your office or wherever, find a quiet spot and just do some breath work. It is life-changing. Swear by it. A little bit of reading or literature or information that I'll add to this. If you're not familiar with sort of the pop icon, pop science guy, Wim Hof, he is a Dutch guy, I think he's Dutch, who's kind of colloquially known as like the Iceman, and this is his whole MO, like literally doing breath work. He's a nut job. He does marathons in the snow and all of this, and he attributes it basically to doing the Wim Hof breathing method. A little different than breath work, but it serves a very similar purpose. And equally invigorating. I swear by it. I would highly encourage anybody to do it. If you're trying to glow up, these things are the things that you should be doing. Now, let's get into the final thing here that I have to say, as far as kind of 3 mental exercises or mental stimulating things that I do. And that is honestly just positive affirmations. The human psyche is incredibly primitive. It doesn't require a lot to hijack, and it doesn't really require a lot to get it to do what you want if you know how to manipulate it. Now, there are people out there that get paid millions of dollars to manipulate our brains through advertising and algorithms and so on and so forth. But truthfully, the easiest way that you can hijack your brain to do what it wants or to do what you want it to do is to sit down, grab a sheet of paper, and write down a handful of affirmations, positive affirmations about yourself. And every day for 60 days, look at yourself in the mirror and recite those aloud. And then at the end, tell yourself, I love you, and you're going to be good to go. Essentially, we as humans cannot, for some reason, distinguish psychologically truth or fact from fiction. And so this just works incredibly well. Like, we believe what we tell ourselves every day. And that's why when we're really, really down on our self-esteem and we beat ourselves up, it's so problematic. It can send us into a bit of a depression. Happens to me sometimes. But this is like the kill shot. This is like the silver bullet. Every time I feel like I am going down the drain, I have my affirmations sitting up on my bedroom mirror, and I look at them for 4 or 5 days in the morning, and I recite them off twice. And I feel like I'm on top of the world again. These are kind of 3 tips and tricks to really help better align your mind with being in a more successful, healthy sort of mindset, and I find them incredibly productive. If any of these have worked for you in the past or you have any advice on them, feel free to drop it below in the comments. We can kind of start a bit of a dialogue about it. Or if you guys want me to go in more depth about each of these things, let me know below, and I will go ahead and create videos on each of these methods that I do for myself, and we can kind of take it from there. As always, leave a like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm, and I really appreciate it. That has been Will's Take.